Yeah, man, I'm so glad that you're here. And yeah, I asked Steve to come in, and he has way more wisdom than I do. He won't admit it, but he does. And like,
I admit nothing.
we just wanted to give just parents, youth leaders, just some tips, encouragement during this time, because it's kind of like what you said, uncharted territory, uncharted waters.
It is. It's different.
It's really different. So we're just gonna have a conversation about that. And so just one of the things that I noticed, and you have a ministry and you have a page, a ministry page and a blog.
Yep.
And I was reading one of your blogs, and I love one of the statements says about self-isolation is creating a better new normal.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that? And like, just kind of go into like what that meant for you.
Yeah, well, when this all started to happen right out of the gate, my wife kept saying to me, I just want things to return to normal. And that became sort of that, like, is it possible that we just hunker down long enough, right? If it's a couple of weeks, if it's a month, whatever it is, can we just hunker down and get through this?
Yeah.
And I remember I heard, and I could not tell you for the life of me who said this, but someone said to me once, like, don't just get through things because you're not living life.
Yeah.
You have to, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know how they said it, but it was this idea that you don't want to just try to get through something.
Yeah.
You want to live the best life through every moment, right? Figure out how to honor Christ through every single moment.
Yeah.
So that got me thinking. So we started having conversations back and forth, and I kind of mentioned to him, like, well, what if we were able to create sort of a new way of doing things? What if all of this really caused us to intentionally step back and ask ourselves a really fundamental, important question of what are some of the things that we would love to change about our family?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we would love to increase in our capacity to disciple our kids? Better time spent with family.
Yeah.
Focusing in on our nuclear family.
Yeah.
And really driving more intentional conversations with our kids, and just those kinds of things, because we've been given this incredible gift of time.
Yeah.
Right? We're forced here together.
Yeah.
Let's not just make the best of it and get through it, but let's change what normal looks like. So then when we come out of it, it's not, oh man, thank goodness we got through that. Let's all go back to what we were doing a minute ago. Because that's not at all what I wanted us to be able to do, because I think then what's the point? I feel like if we're in this moment, it's because God has allowed us, but maybe even more so, God has given us this moment.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's a really great way of looking at it. So for me, like, I'm an extrovert, and it's really hard for me to be at home.
See, I'm not. This is truly a gift to me.
So this is a gift for you, but this is my hell.
Me and Netflix, we get along great.
You guys get along.
It's not a problem.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't know what it's like in this new normal. And I mean, it's probably a little bit different for you because your kids are homeschooled, but for you and your wife, this is still kind of a new normal, you know?
It is. Yeah. No, it is.
And so how are you doing this? Like, what does this look like for you guys as a family in the midst of this new normal? What does that look like for you guys?
Well, it starts with, understanding, I think, I'll say it this way. I think it first starts with really setting the right expectation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So having an expectation, for example, that my kids are going to, even though they're home all the time, together, and they're best friends with each other, and they're used to being around, that does not mean that they're always going to get along. In fact, they're starting now, we're really getting to that point where they're starting to get sick of each other, and we're hearing the I'm bored and those kind of things, right? Yeah. So it was first to set out the right expectations as to what is this really going to look like? And this isn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Right. It's just not.
Right.
Yeah. And that include the expectations that my wife has with me and that I have with her. Right. So she might expect me to, I'm home. So, hey, how about I help out with this, that, or the other?
Right.
Or my expectation of just because I'm home and my doors of my office are shut, don't bother me. Right. well, that's not really the right expectation.
Right.
So we had to shift that. When are my working hours? When do I actually get something done? When do I play with the kids? When do I go outside with them? When do I, I read almost every morning. My oldest and I read scripture together. Cool. So do we do that at the same time as we were? Do we shift that? What does that look like? My wife still wants to keep some normalcy with school. I don't want to interrupt that. So it's really right-sizing those expectations first and foremost.
Right.
Then it's saying, okay, well, what are the things that we want to be important? What are some of the things that we were doing that time got away from us and that we couldn't do, but we wanted to do? So we looked at some of those things and said, we really want to do more devotionals as a family. I wanted to make sure I was reading with my oldest. We wanted to make sure we got them outside to play.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that just because we're at home doesn't mean they should be watching TV on devices. The things that are, let's be honest.
Right.
It's easy, right?
It is easy. Yeah.
So, go watch a movie.
Yeah. Get on Netflix.
Go do something else. Leave me alone.
Right.
So it was really just setting those things up to start to make sure that in this moment, I have if I view it as I want to have a purpose behind this and I want to use this to my advantage, how do I then use this to my advantage? What's the end result that I want? How do I achieve the end result with the right expectations, and how do I move that forward?
That's good. Yeah, man. So